want to compare a couple of mics today, and specifically to address a question that someone asked me the other day, which was, can they use their Shure SM58? Now, this is the said SM58, and you probably recognise it. It's ubiquitous, and I call it an upmarket karaoke mic. But that's doing it a disservice, really, because it's actually much more than that and much better than that. It's fantastic for doing stage work. It's not plugged in at the moment, as you can see. So what you're listening to is this mic, which is an Audio-Technica 4050, a good, I would say, upper middle type of condenser mic. But this is a dynamic mic, and it's great for stage work. You may have used one if you've ever done any presentations at work or anything like that. And this would be absolutely ideal for that. But the received wisdom is you would never use it for doing voiceovers, because the sound is just too brittle and wouldn't really pick up a lot of notes in your voice. It would tend to minimize what we can hear. But is it? And could you get away with it? I mean, if you say compare the price of that one to this one, this mic you'll probably pick up for about, I suppose, about £600. Plus you've got to get an interface, so you're talking about not far off £700 sterling when if you were buying something like that. But of course you can get much cheaper ones. What about this one? This one I think is probably under £100 actually. Even with inflation, I think it's still under 100. So this is what this one sounds like. You've got a pretty good idea. Now, what I'm going to do is just put it on a stand and attach it, and we'll see if we can hear the difference between the two microphones. I've got to reconfigure the recording, but I'll come back to you in a second with this one. I've plugged in the Shure, and this is what you're listening to now. So I'll just move that mic away so it doesn't confuse us. And let's take a listen to my voice. So here we are, the Shure SM58. I'll just give it a gentle scratch so we can make sure it definitely is that mic, not the internal computer mic. And it is definitely Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper. How's that for the plosives? What's it sounding like? Has it got lots of presence? How far back can I go? Am I soon off mic here? Am I swinging off mic here? Or do I have to get really nice and close to it to make it work properly? What do we think? I've swung this one back into play now. At least I hope it's this one. Just give it a quick scratch. Yeah, I think it is. And this one, the old Shure SM58, I don't want to break it, I thought sounded quite good. It was it was very clear, very clear. There was a bit of white noise on there. I don't know whether you could hear it. There was some hiss going on, almost like a USB mic. And it wasn't a USB, it's not a USB mic, it's a dynamic mic. It's not a USB condenser mic is what I mean to say. It is a dynamic mic. And you can see the three prongs there, the XLR, which is the same as this one. This one's an XLR as well. And just to kind of, for the geeky people amongst you, what I did was I fed both of them through a Steinberg UR12, which is my interface. On this one, I need 48 volts of phantom power, so I've clicked the switch on for that one. And for this one, you don't need any phantom power because it's a dynamic mic. I had to, what you couldn't see was behind the scenes, I was turning up this one a bit further because it seemed to want a bit more lift, really. And it had that white noise underneath, that hiss, which you get with a USB condenser mic. Now, obviously, this is not a USB condenser mic, this one. It is an XLR. And this has got XLR as well, but it seemed that it still had some background hiss there, which I was surprised at. I didn't realise it would have that. And also I think you need to drive it quite hard. I reckon the main difference though is in quality, and particularly the sort of reproduction you get, the detail. So the detail on this one is better. I think this one is warmer. You'll notice as I get closer to the mic, it sounds richer. My voice probably is getting a little bit deeper, picking out all the mid-tones and the lower notes for you. This one, even when I drove it quite hard, in fact, if anything, it sort of dipped it a bit, almost like an auto-ducking system within the mic. That could have been my iMovie software, which I'm using to record the video, of course. So we've got to allow for that to some extent. But I think the sound of the Shure is a bit brittle. It's a bit kind of, it's got a sort of edge, almost a frazzled edge, if you listen to it, whereas this is kind of smoother, isn't it? And I think that makes all the difference to the overall sound. Is it worth many times more, this one? Well, that's kind of not the point of this video. The point is to say, could you get away with this? And I have to say, now, could you get away with it for voiceovers is what I'm talking about. And I have to say, I think you probably could. I think if you wanted a mic, or certainly as a backup mic, Shure SM58 might be okay for voiceovers. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have used a Shure SM58 for voiceovers, please let me know. Did the clients find it okay? Did they notice, really? Have you noticed? Or do you use a Shure SM58 for your recordings, and are you quite happy with it? Because it's cheap and cheerful, but very good quality at the same time. So it is an option. It's an option. You will need an interface though, so you'll need something like a Focusrite or a Steinberg or some sort of interface for the cable to go. So the cable goes from here, the XLR cable goes into an interface, and then it goes from the interface into your USB. But there is that hiss there, which kind of let it down a little bit, I think. But anyway, it's an option. And if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Thanks very much for watching today. Look after your voice, and I'll see you in the next video.